Welcome to Firearms of America. Today I am back here at Shooters in Fort Myers, Florida with a FAN 503 in 9mm. Tiny little compact firearm. We're gonna test it today and we'll see what it can do. And this is a brand new FAN, actually just came in the box, right out of the box. Let's put a few rounds through it, see what it can do. Now, if you're not familiar with a FAN brand, originally Belgian brand, Hairstyle Belgium, now owned by Hairstyle Group, which surprisingly actually owns Winchester and Browning Arms. Yes, believe it or not, pretty big. Now this particular firearm right here, obviously designed as a compact firearm. That's why you can see this is actually extended magazine. It does come with the flat magazine where you can only fit, what is it? It says six rounds, and this is 8 rounds right here extended. I do like it because it gives you a little bit of that extra grip here, but obviously the flatter one is gonna be smaller, so if you have a little bit of a bigger hands, your pinky might be missing out on some gripping action. All right, so put 5 rounds in the magazine, 9mm in 3.1 barrel. Let's see how it can handle the recoil. So what do we have on the target? I will try with that very middle orange right there. Let's see what it can do. Nice tight slide, and let's see. Close enough. Low. There we go. All right. Let's put 5 more. Now, surprisingly, it handles the recoil very well for 3.1 and the 9mm. I genuinely expected way more recoil than that, and as you can see, I was gripping it so hard that I was actually shooting lower than the target. Well, let's do 5 more and see if I can hit all of them in that orange circle there. Got a little bit of a feed issue. Put it back. All right, let's go. All right. Now, one of the reasons why it handles the recoil so well, you probably already noticed. As you can see, it has a nice steel guide rod that actually is very nicely and tightly holding it there, and the slide is surprisingly tight, so you can tell that the spring there is a tighter spring, and that of course gives you a lot of that absorption from the recoil. I do like it. It's a little bit harder to rack it compared to a lot of other pistols out there, especially compact pistols, because most of them, they are designed for people who prefer ease of racking, of engaging the safety, of carrying. Not this. As you can see, there isn't really any kind of safety besides that trigger safety, kind of a pre-trigger going on here. As you can see, a very similar system to a Glock. There is really no thumb safety, but you do have that extra pre-trigger going. Kind of gives you a feel when you put the finger on the trigger. Now, let's talk a little bit about the trigger. I do like it, obviously single action. You do have a little bit of that Pre-travel, obviously there is this pre-trigger, and then there's travel of about, it's a sufficient distance to understand. It's a very understandable, very safe travel, right? So about 4 millimeters. And then we have probably about 2.5 millimeters of that unsure travel. But that's not it, because we have probably another millimeter of another distance, and then some more, about 2 millimeters, and then we have a snap. I kind of do wish that there was a little bit less of those travel sections, if you know what I mean. For example, we have our pre-trigger, right? We have 4 millimeters. We have another 2 millimeters, so 3 millimeters. And then another, I think this is really unnecessary here, and only then, and still you have a little bit more. Just a little bit of too much going on in the trigger. Not my favorite type of trigger. Now let's talk about the grip. As you can see, there are serrations here on both ends, on the front and on the back. Now obviously, because this is an extended magazine, I do have plenty of space, and because this is a single stack magazine, obviously the grip is fairly thin, fairly compact. Small hands like myself might feel pretty good holding it properly, getting good grip. Definitely possible. And these serrations right here are actually fairly aggressive, so it does definitely help controlling that recoil. Now I already mentioned briefly the slide, but to kind of give you another overlook of the slide, as you can see, there are serrations here on the back, nothing on the front. Now, I did see online that this gun has a loaded chamber indicator, and I have not noticed it anywhere. I don't see any indicator that shows that now we have a loaded chamber. I'm not sure. Still the same, nothing changed. Might be a little bit of a different model, 503, there are a few ones. As you can see, this particular model comes with a built-in, yes, light. And you can use it as a flashlight, or you can use it, if you hold a button, you can use it as a disorienting, quite disorienting stroboscope, or whatever that is. Now let's talk about the sights. I do like the sights quite a lot. They are your standard 3-dot sights, very simple to operate. Most of us are familiar with them. And I am gonna put a few more rounds through this pistol to kind of try and come to a more or less reasonable conclusion here. See what we can do. See if we can finish off that orange. A lot of my shots, as I can tell from the target, are going low, and I'll try and see if I can get all of them into the orange this time. All right. All right. Pretty close group. Overall, I do like this pistol. It is definitely a great choice for a concealed carry. One thing I would recommend though with this particular pistol, if you are considering for a concealed carry, make sure that you practice with the magazine that you're planning to carry with. For example, if you're planning to carry with this extended magazine, make sure this is how you practice it. Because I see that a lot of times with people buying compact guns that come with two different types of magazines, the flat ones and the extended ones, the standard ones and the extended ones. They practice, they shoot it with the extended because obviously comfort, and then they carry it without one. And really, if you think about it, not extended grip over here is pretty much a completely different gun that you carry and a completely different gun that you practice with. And I definitely do encourage you to make sure that you practice with the same magazine that you carry. Make sure you do that. It will go a long way. Now, one other thing, obviously, safety. There is no additional thumb safety like you see in a lot of guns. And I know already from experience of having this channel for a while, a lot of people out there, they are not fans of guns not having that extra safety. There are generally people that prefer to carry the gun even if it has the safety without the safety engaged. And of course there are people that prefer to have all of these extra safety. I'm not going to be the judge and say, this is the best way, that is the best way, whatever. If you have a good holster that can accommodate and make sure that there's a good trigger guard in that holster, you really don't need any kind of additional extra safety features. That really kind of comes down to the way you carry it. Obviously, if you're carrying a gun like this, for example, in a purse, just wobbling around, there probably you would want to have that additional thumb safety. And even in those cases, really, if you're carrying your gun in a purse, shouldn't be wobbling in there. You get the point. So overall, I do like this FN gun. It's very nicely built. I mean, the quality, you can tell, it's just built like a tank. There's really no wobble between the slide and the frame. The frame, the weight distribution is pretty good. We have the polymer frame, the steel slide. Like I said, the guide rod is nice and steel over here and feels really, really good. Racking the slide, however, might be something that you would need to adjust to. So, if you have an opportunity, like for example here in Shooters in Fort Myers, Florida, you can come and before buying any gun, you can take it on the range and you can try it out. Definitely do that. But overall, pretty good.